Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. This is actually third time lucky. You can tell we're back on Zoom doing things. It feels proper old school. I don't like it, but we've had to do it. So we're still bringing you a podcast. That's the best we can do. If you don't follow the podcast Twitter account, you'll be wondering why on earth are we on Zoom today? Why is this happening? Well, there's been a police incident in my street. I can't get in or out. It's just out with my control, Ryan's control, Callum's control. There is genuinely nothing we can do to sort it. So, yep, here we are. We're stuck here on Zoom once more, like the good old days. And I'm joined by two familiar faces who I'd probably safe to say don't like being back on Zoom either. Ryan McGinley, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm quite sad that I'm not in the studio, but, you know, it's a Celtic Thunder podcast. I'm here and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Callum, you're down there. You're the one causing us all the issues. We'll have to point out that you're sort of portrait for everybody rather than because you've had to go with the phone. How you doing, mate? The technological issues keeping you down?
Pretty much, even the laptop. I thought it was working fine. Had a meltdown, fixed it. Had another meltdown. I'm a boy had half a meltdown myself now.
Listen,
Callum, you look as if you're going to do a TikTok out of nowhere or something. You just sat it down. You're just going to do a dance halfway through.
Callum starts renegading halfway through the show.
Renegade, man, that's like 2 years old.
Oh Christ! Listen, I'm an old one, right? So it's weird to be back on Zoom. I does really feel sort of unnatural in a sense, but we'll hopefully be back in the studio next week. Well, we should be back in the studio next week when the police incident has cleared itself up at my street. It's going to be like that for hours, so I'm just stranded in here. Can't get out. It feels like I've made an excuse just so I don't need to leave the house or something.
Back in lockdown, mate.
I know. It'll feel like that because like you should see the boat with the street. It's like everybody's just sort of out doing their nosy, so it feels like it's like what everybody's out doing their walk that they were doing in the lockdown because they had nothing else to do. That is what it is. I'm stuck here and it'll have to do. It is episode number 55, or for Celtic fans, episode number 1 of the podcast. I do get that awful.
Shameless.
It is episode number 55, so I will ask you like I do at the start of every episode. Can you tell us any number 55s in Celtic's history? Can you think of any without a clue? I feel like I'm going to need clues for this one. I think
we're going to need clues.
Right, so the first clue is I think he's still with the club, isn't he? I think he's out on loan. Or did he leave permanently? He's had a few loan spells recently anyway. He was on loan at Dunfermline at one point last season.
Kerr
McInroy, that's correct. Kerr McInroy is one of them. Is he still with the club? I completely forgot.
Not got a clue.
I don't know if he's out on loan because I know that his contract's up in the summer.
So Kerr McInroy is number 1, and number 2, he might have the worst hairline in Scottish football history, or just the worst hair in Scottish football history, I should say.
People say that about me, but I need to pull people up about this because I checked a photo from 5 years ago. I've still got the same hair that I did then.
You've got a decent hairline, son. But that's
not what people on Twitter are saying, unfortunately.
This guy takes the biscuit, but like he should just shave it off.
It is bad.
But this is like, if you can get the player.
Does he not shave it off?
He's not shaved it off. He's still got the hair. He doesn't play for Celtic anymore. He's not played for Celtic for about 10 years now. Any guesses?
Well, Paul McGowan.
Paul McGowan, that's correct. Well done.
I thought we were still talking about Kerr McInroy there. Sorry,
no.
That hair is bad. I seen him out in Coatbridge Jones. I was checking to see if he'd get his tag on still.
Aye, big Paul McGowan. He is the other one. So there you go. That's the 2 number 55s that have played for Celtic. So yeah, it's time for the normal podcast now. It's been a quiet week for Celtic. You know, we've had a lot of time off. It's been the first time we've had an extended sort of break since the winter break, and now we're ready to go back into the games tomorrow as we play Dundee United. Callum, I'll start with you, just very quickly. Do you think that this break's going to has been important for Celtic? I think a lot of players were looking like they were maybe a little dead in their feet in the last few games. Do you think this break will be something that helps some of those guys?
Definitely. I mean, I think also it's very beneficial towards everybody in the team, but I think it's a wee bit of a pain almost. Also, we had like that momentum, getting that big win at Livy away. You want to go right into the next game. sort of thrown it off. I think obviously we'll see how they react to it come tomorrow night. But it's just a bit of a pain.
Yeah, McGinley, you said you wanted to talk about Livy away. I mean, obviously the dust has sort of settled. We're now 1 week on, but Callum raised a good point there. We got a really, really good, probably our best performance at the Tony Macaroni ever. And now we've had this wee sort of break. How do you look at it then? And if you want to talk about the Livy game, feel free as well.
I see it both ways, because although we did win against Livy, I do think we've needed this week break. I think you've seen us struggle a wee bit against St Mirren. I know we got the job done in the second half, but we've needed this break. I've just been enjoying every other bit of football apart from Celtic. I know that the players will be getting a lot of good training sessions in. It's also a week further until Turnbull and Kyogo come back. Two players that are going to be massive for us, I think, come the end of the season. It's great. It's great that Ange just had the time to go in the training ground with the players and work on things more. And I think we'll see the best results of that tomorrow night.
Right, so let's talk about tomorrow night then. Now that Callum has managed to fix his... I was about to say now that Cameron's managed to fix his Callum, man. That's the way it goes. Let's talk about tomorrow night then, because tomorrow night is our first game back. It's the Scottish Cup quarter-finals. We have a chance to book ourselves another trip to Hampden and take one step closer towards what could potentially be a treble this season, but we'll focus on every competition on its own. Ryan, Dundee United, Tannadice, it's probably not the easiest place to go for a Scottish Cup game. You would have probably preferred something a little bit easier. However, we've finally got that break away from the games. I feel like so many times we've moaned about the likes of getting like home ties and the cup ticket scheme when we could have decent away days. How are you looking at this game tomorrow night?
I think it's going to be a cracker. I think it's set up to be a cracker. Monday night football. Tannadice is always a good place to go. We played well there last time. Was it 3-0? That was the game that Scales scored a cracker and Rogic scored probably goal of the season. It's mental to look back in that game and think that Scales' goal wasn't even the best goal of the game. It was a shot from outside the box. It should be a good game. Both teams will be rested fairly well. So I think both teams will go at it and it'll be a really, really exciting game to watch.
Yeah, but you kind of touched on the point I was going to bring up. We've played well against Dundee United a couple of times now since I think we drew with them at Celtic Park, didn't we, right earlier on in the season?
Yeah, that was an awful game.
And the last couple of times afterwards we've managed to get the job done, be it one being right at the death of the game. Cal, we've seen how difficult they can make life for us at Celtic Park on two occasions now. Are you kind of holding on that Tannadice performance is a sign of what we can do away from home against them?
You would like to think so. I think the way Tam Court sort of sets up his team against both Glasgow sides, he does like to just have them sitting in, because he'll gladly see this game go extra time and penalties if they can and push it right out to that. I think it is a good place for us to go in a sense, but I also feel as if it can be an absolute cunt of a place to go. It can be absolutely horrible.
It's weird because, I feel like that we've been on such good form recently that part of me is like, right, it's just, and do you know what? This is the thing, right? Apart from take last season out of the question, because last season was just an anomaly. It was like being on Zoom. It doesn't feel real. But apart from last season, we've just been so used to winning in the cup. Like, we've just won quite frankly, apart from last season, we've won every game in the cup, and we've done so this season as well. It just feels so natural for us to go into this game and get the job done. Ryan, do you think that could be a danger for Celtic fans? I've seen a lot of people already talking about the semi-final, talking about semi-final this, semi-final that, Hampden.
Yeah.
Does that worry you sometimes? Do you think there's a right though, considering how good we've been? Do you think it is just we've been that good? People deserve to be a little bit confident in their team.
I think it's expectancy at the end of the day. People expect us. They expect Rangers to go through as well today against Dundee, and they expect Celtic to go through against Dundee United. It's just the way it should be. As big-headed as that sounds, Celtic and Rangers are expected to be in the latter stages of these competitions. I mean, they're what make your season. Because, I mean, you look at a couple of seasons before when we're winning trebles every season. Every game was important. All the Scottish Cup games were important. It was important to get to Hampden. It's always a great day out at Hampden as well, which is why I'm desperate to get back there. But I think it's just expectancy more than anything else. It's a winning mentality. And I'm not really worried about complacency, because I don't think Ange allows there to be any complacency in this team. So I think we're in a really good spot. Just as long as we go out and do the business tomorrow, then I'll be quite happy.
let's talk about some of the players and what we expect to see from the team tomorrow. You know, sometimes people look at the cup as an opportunity for some players to maybe come in, maybe drop out, etc., etc. Callum, from Livingston, is there anybody in that team that you feel like you want to see play again? Is there anybody at the moment who you feel like we turn to in a game like this and expect to maybe grab the game by the scruff of the neck if Tam Courts makes it as difficult as he can?
See, I feel even daft saying this, considering he's not even an attacking player, but seeing their beat on against Livingston, I thought as again one of his better performances in a Celtic shirt. I thought he actually played quite well. Pretty managed input in it. I think I would like to see Ralston, as much as I do want Juranovic back. I think Ralston had put in a decent shift for us there. I'd like to see him sort of kick on and continue.
Yeah, Ryan, I seen you nodding your head away there when Callum brought up near Beaton. Do you echo the sentiment that he brought up?
I think in our best 11 near Beaton plays. I think he's the number 6 now, and it's his jersey to lose. I just think, yes, he's like a ticking time bomb with regards to his mistakes. He has a bit of nonsense in him, but for the most part, he levels out the team. He gives the team a bit more balance when he plays, and he allows McGregor to go further forward and sort of express himself. So I think he should be playing there. It's great to see Near Beaton as a number 6, first of all, because he's never been a centre half in his puff. So it's good to see him playing in his natural position, and I think other players feed off him really well in the team. Also, he's a leader in that team as well because he's been there 8-9 years. So it's great to have somebody with that experience that knows these cup ties and knows how difficult they can be. If he's on the pitch, then he can calm us down a bit.
Do you know what? Just thinking back to the last, just as you were speaking there, I was just trying to cast my memory back to the last time we played Dundee United, and even like that feels like an eternity ago as well. I don't know about you. I feel like time is like proper dragging. Like when we beat them 1-0 at Celtic Park, that's when he got sent off. The last time, remember, Near Beaton got sent off against Dundee United, and I think that was really a divisive one on whether or not he was.
That was a great sending off. That was a great sending off.
But you know, like just thinking back to that, it feels like so fucking long ago. Like honestly, I feel like the time has just slowed right down. But here we are. We're ready to hopefully book a place in the semi-final as the time moves on. It's a very, you know, it's important, I think, as well to remember that, you know, these games. Do you know what? It really annoys me because I feel like if we were to say lose tomorrow night, touch wood, I'm sitting at a wooden desk, so touch wood. If we were to go out and lose tomorrow night, I feel like there is that opportunity of doom and gloom negativity to be cast over us all. And I think, you know, rightfully so, we should be critical. I feel like these are the games we should be sort of winning. However, there is that title race still going on. We've still got to keep our... It's just important that we, no matter what happens tomorrow, to keep positive, I think, in terms of on the park and off the park as fans, as supporters. You know, there's still we're at a really crucial point now, Ryan. I think winning tomorrow night would set off the right tones heading into what is probably the most important part of the season now. Yeah,
absolutely. That's what cup games do as well, though. They lift the mood as well, although we are in a really good place just now. Booking a place into another semi-final would be a great feather in the cap for Ange, and it would be great. I mean, I think all the fans are behind Ange now. If they weren't before, then they are now. I mean, if you aren't, then I don't know who you need to see. But everybody's on the Ange bus, and I think things are looking really, really good. But I just think that expectations now have changed this season, because you look beforehand. I mean, some of the comments I was making at the start of the season, like, as long as we're competitive, that's the main thing. Now I'm like, if we don't win the league, I'll be so disappointed. We're in a great position here. I just want us to win it all, to be honest. I wanted a quadruple, but I'll take a treble.
Okay, no too picky. I'll take a treble. I'm not that picky. I'll take that. Right, let's talk about the team prediction then. We have kind of spoke on players we would maybe like to see, but let's have a look through the 11 as quickly as we can here before we start talking about everything else. See, the only thing is I hate about like doing this on Zoom again. I have no idea how long we've been recording for. So, like, I have no idea what point of the show we're at or when should be fine. Like, this could end up being an hour and a half long. It could end up being 40 minutes long. I don't know. I really am just taking and hope for the best. Let's talk about team prediction then. Let's start in goals. Joe Hart, obviously. I think he's going to be the guy in there. Callum, you spoke about how you'd like to see Ralston play again tomorrow. I'm obliged to agree with you. How would you line up that back four then if you were including Tony Ralston?
I think, if obviously providing we've got everybody there available and fit, I think I'd like to see Ralston at right back. Obviously, there's two duo, Carter Vickers and Starfelt continuing on. I'd like to see I'd push Juranovic for left back.
Aye.
Fair in that, obviously we take Greg Taylor. I mean, he's just been back to sort of like basic performances. He just came in doing what he has to do. I would like to see Juranovic back in the team.
Ryan, what would you say? I'm agreeing with Callum personally on that back four. I have been very vocal about how I don't like Juranovic being at the left back position. I like him being at the right back. However, I think Ralston played well enough in the last game to merit a chance in the starting lineup. And also, I feel like it is the kind of game where his output, where he's been getting assists all season, will come in handy. So I agree with Callum. What about you, though?
Juranovic right back,
Yeah.
Taylor left back. I want a left back playing at left back.
Yeah.
I don't like shoehorning him into left back because you don't
No,
get the best
I
out of him.
I agree. I just think Ralston played well in the last game. I'd feel harsh.
He did. And I wouldn't be angry if he was playing, but I just want to see Juranovic. I mean, I make all the same arguments, you know, he's a Croatian internationalist, this and that. I just want to see him do well.
Right, cool. No worries. Midfield three then. Both of you spoke about Beaton. Ryan, I'll let you start this time. What three would you go with tomorrow?
Beaton, McGregor, and it's a toss-up between O'Reilly and Rogic.
I hate this question. You know that? Like, I've been asked it in the last few videos, like in comment sections and live chats and stuff, like Rogic or O'Reilly, and I'm like, I really cannot like separate the two of them.
Probably, I think you'll go with Rogic because Rogic really suits that ground, and obviously the way he played in the last game there. I think after a week he'll be so re-energised. I know he was good against Livingston, but that week off will have done him wonders, and I think you'll really see a good performance come out of him.
Okay, that's a three you're going with then. Callum, what about you?
As much as I would like it to be Rogic, I think he'll try and mix it up and go with O'Reilly. I think just to give him that bit extra game time, and then again, Beaton McGregor, they sort of pick themselves. I think there's really an argument there too for me.
Do you think this is a chance tomorrow for Yosuke Deguchi throughout the game? At any point, do you think he'll make an appearance?
If we end up about 2 or 3 up, I think then also come back in, but get a bit of game time. I don't see it as a start, but definitely if we're in lead and we're playing, if we're comfortable, then I think he'll get a bit of game time behind him.
But you were shaking your head away there, Brian. Do you not think so?
Now's not the time. It's if now that when is going to be the time? Pre-season, probably next season.
See that? Well, this is the thing that I said on my live video thing the other night, my live stream, and people kept asking me about when's Julien's next chance coming, and I said not till pre-season. I don't think Julien will be anywhere near the team between now and the end of the season. However, I feel like it could be different for Deguchi, and I feel like what you're saying applies. I think Callum's spot on in the sense that, like, if we're up 2 or 3, absolutely. But I think that if Yoski's going to get a chance, then it's not going to be in a tight league game, is it? It's probably going to be in a cup game. But then again, those chances are probably rather slim. So I don't know. I just his name's
maybe the one game I would like to see him in is against Ross County next weekend. I think that'd be a good game because I think Ross County are going to come out and attack us. So having him with his sort of engine, I've not really seen too much about him to form a good opinion on him. But from what I have seen, I quite like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, you just said that and it made me laugh for a minute there because I just that scene makes me laugh. Me and Callum, funnily enough, we won't be at the Ross County game, will we, Callum? We'll be at Hertha Berlin versus Hoffenheim.
We will indeed.
That'll be a good game.
I'm looking forward to it. I've seen obviously Hertha get beat 2-0 yesterday off Mönchengladbach, but
I hope if they're humming.
They're dying. Just the aspect of having a fight at the football. That's what does it for me.
See, I'm sitting here in the Dusseldorf shirt, right? Fortuna, right? Love them. However, I've just got this awful feeling that I'm going. So we went to that Dusseldorf game, and I don't know if I've told this story in the podcast. And we sat there. Fucking 0-0, like till the night, right up to the end. Like, fuck me, no goals. And then what happens in like the 93rd minute? Fucking Sachsenhausen or whatever. No, Sachsenhausen. Sandhausen. What's their name again? Sachsenhausen's a concentration camp. What is the name? That is. I think it's Sandhausen.
That honestly sounds like the staunchest German team ever. Sachsenhausen.
That's the name of the concentration camp beside Berlin. I know because I've been, but
oh my God.
What is the name? I can't remember who they were playing now, but they scored in the 93rd minute and beat Fortuna 1-0. Of course, that's the game we're coming. That happens, but hopefully it doesn't happen next week. But Ryan, you'll be the inside informant. We'll be missing the Celtic game, sadly. Part timers that we are.
That's it.
Aye.
Title races aren't for everybody, mate.
Fuck off. And then the forward three, how does James Forrest get back in the team, McGinley?
No, Abada goes in. Our best right winger plays in a cup game that's very important. So I think it'll be Abada and Jota, and then Giakoumakis up front.
Nice. Cool. I like that.
I like it.
Callum, what would you say? Say the same?
I mean, there's no point in asking me again if James Forrest gets in my team. Not a fucking chance. But I know, I get after you do McGinley. You need to get Abada back in there.
No happy with his performance against Livingston?
Mate, he could have scored a hat-trick and I still wouldn't have been happy, let's be honest.
Fair enough.
You're going to be a marked man. Forest stands are going to come after you.
I know, that's it. You're fucked now. No, but okay, that's it. I think
it was. I think that needs to be mentioned though, that Forest really was good against Livingston. I thought he was good in the first half as well as the second half. I know a lot of people said he had an all right first half. I thought he was really good. I thought
the thing for Forrest is he needs to keep that up now. You know, like it's so easy for him to have one game and then that's it. So when he gets his next chance, he really needs to build up on that performance.
Yeah, but that goal, the finish for the third goal, obviously Forrest goal, was so vintage James Forrest.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he takes it wide and then it was a good ball in from Jota as well, and it's just great. Was that the other corner? Aye, just into the other corner.
Mm-hmm. It's
a really good finish.
Yeah, it was. But there we go. That's everything covered in terms of Dundee United tomorrow night. So let's go on to a little bit of a transition. While we do that, we're going to get up the new game that's been added to the show. Well, I say new. I think this is like the third week.
I love this.
And it is I need a sort of name for it. I don't know if Kieran wants to fire in a name for this. Kieran, friend of the show. So if you don't know what this is, if you're listening for the first time since we've started playing it, we basically get given a Celtic player from any point in history, and we're given the club that they joined Celtic from and the club that they left Celtic to go to. And two people on the show who are joining me will have a chance to guess who it is very quickly. Just a wee transition and a little bit of fun, and you guys at home can join in too. So I'm going to let Callum Craig choose first since he wasn't here last week. Do you want player A or player B, Callum?
I'll go player B.
Player B. Okay, so that means you're up first, Ryan McGinley. So here you go. Your player joined Celtic from Motherwell, and he left Celtic to join Sheffield Wednesday. The thinking man.
Stephen Pearson?
It's not Stephen Pearson. The correct
Phil
O'Donnell is correct.
It was one of the two.
I got it in your second guess, but it is Phil O'Donnell. The late great Phil O'Donnell joined Celtic from Motherwell and left for Sheffield Wednesday. Callum Craig, your player. He joined Celtic from Nottingham Forest, and when he left Celtic, he retired. So he ended his playing career at Celtic.
Oh, fuck.
This one is more recent than Phil O'Donnell.
Wow.
I don't even know if I think he went back down south after the rest of us.
Oh, I do know this actually.
Do you? Well, let's see.
I do.
Actually, I don't know, man. I don't even know if he played for them. It's Kevin Wilson.
Kevin Wilson? Is that your guess? Yes.
I just say that to get it out the way, aye.
It's not Kelvin Wilson, Ryan.
I think it's Doris de Vries, isn't it?
It is. It's Doris de Vries. There's your answer there.
he was Nottingham Forest Player of the Season, I think, the season before.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I believe he was. Granted, I don't think it takes much to be their Player of the Season nowadays, but there you go. That's so
disrespectful to a big team.
Yeah, well, listen.
Well, that's not a big team to some teams.
They're a massive.
Remember that earlier in the season?
Two-time European champions. They're a massive club. However, they've been mints for about 20 years, so probably longer than 20 years, in fact.
That Riley McGree still. No, that's Middlesbrough. I've got that. I've made an ass of that.
We'll move on.
I was about to go in on him too, and I've just got them two mixed up.
We'll move on to the next topic of the show that I wanted to bring up, and that was Cameron Carter-Vickers and Jota. Ange Postecoglou has spoken on whether or not he'll be at the club next season or such. Just to throw in some quotes from the manager, he said that, "I'm sure that the Champions League football will help us keep them. I'm also sure that it will be an attraction for others to come to our football club. There's a two-way thing. The player has to want to be here, and we want to have them here. When you have that, I'm sure we'll get a deal done. But there's no issue if players see their future away from here or have different motivations. The appeal to come to Celtic is playing in front of 60,000 people every week, competing in Europe and going for trophies and playing for a club that's universally known around the world. That's the attraction. If we're playing in the Champions League next year, and if not next year, it should be our goal every year, then that will be an attraction for players to stay." He goes on to talk about how whether or not they might be attracted to money down south or whatever. Callum, I would take his comments as mostly positive in a situation where we've not really had many updates on whether or not their future remains with Celtic beyond next season.
Yeah, I think also it would be nice to get also the two of them sort of brought in full time and tied into, as I said, Champions League football is the key part. Every player wants to test herself against like the elites. You want to push yourself at that part of your career. So it would be nice, obviously, win the league this year, get guaranteed Champions League football and get they two to come in. But I think I just touched on with the money down south, the money that can get thrown about in there's completely different to up here.
Yep.
As well. And then again, the Prem being a big attraction down there. Again, everybody wants to play in what's glorified as the best league in the world.
Yeah.
It's just that'll be the deciding factor, I think, money. And that's what I'll end up deciding. Aye.
Ryan, does it just stress the importance of now winning this league title? Oh, look at that, by the way. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely. Do you see this on the screen?
Yes, I did.
Oh, this is tremendous. This a gift from Zoom. That's my birthday present. Oh, that's nice of them. A gift from Zoom. Running out of time, we've removed the 40-minute time limit on your meeting. Oh, that's so nice of them. Happy late birthday to me. McGinley, does it really stress the importance of the Champions League and winning this league? The start of this season, as you've already said, you said as long as we're competitive. But now we're at this point and we know that somehow this could sway the decisions of two of our best players, if not the two best players this season. It could sway them to stay at the club. Does it stress how important that is?
Yeah, I think it's important for loads of different reasons. Obviously, for those two players staying, I think if you're looking at the two of those players, I think there's more chance of Jota staying than Carter Vickers, if I'm being honest. You see the teams that are sort of swirling about Carter Vickers, apparently, Leicester and Wolves, which would both be good moves for him. Like, I'm not even going to dress it up and say he's going to a lesser club. Those are two good moves down south. Those are two teams that have basically established themselves in the Premier League. Wolves obviously going for European football. But I think it's just big for us in general. Celtic should be playing in the Champions League. And again, that sounds big-headed, but Celtic are historically, they are a Champions League club. That's what we should be aiming for. And the fact that if we win the league, then we go straight into the group stage, barring an absolute collapse in the coefficient, which I don't think will happen. I think it's very unlikely that will happen. So, I mean, with that sort of opportunity there, we've got to take it, and we've got to just put everything into this league. I know we made a lot of signings in January that we're just hoping that we'll just finish off the job, having that strength and depth in the team. And fingers crossed we can do that, because it'll be great. We've missed these Champions League nights so much. I think that's been, 5-6 years since we were last in the Champions League. Yep. I think it was Rodgers' second season, was it? Aye, because he got put out the qualifiers in the third season. But I've really missed it, and I want us to be back amongst the football and elite, so they say.
You want to be at the dinner for the rich, the dinner for the elites. That's where you want to be.
That's it. I just want that 40 million. I mean, I'll never see the 40 million, but I just want my team to be in a good state. You know what I mean? We already are, but be even more of a good state. You're not going to knock back 40 million, are you?
Oh no, not at all. There are two players I really, really want to keep at the club. As you said, when it comes to Carter Vickers, it is difficult. You've got on one hand a club who are pushing to make European football next season. The other hand, you've got a club who are probably the favourites to win a European competition this season. You're looking at two strong sides. And you're obviously looking at two very talented managers as well, and Bruno Lage and Brendan Rodgers. They are attractive moves. So it might be a bit much to raise the expectations for Carter Vickers to join Celtic permanently, but I think you're certainly looking at two guys that we need to definitely make an attempt at getting. And that attempt is enhanced when you win the league and when you get the Champions League football. So hopefully something comes of it. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, I think his comments are okay. I think they're positive. I think they're going in the right direction. I think you'd rather hear something like that than like, oh no, we don't know anything. Because I feel
as much as he says he doesn't want to sell the club, he does it just by opening his mouth. He says that he doesn't need to sell the club to players, but every time he speaks, you're like, I just love what you're doing for us. Like, to think that a year ago, about 95% of Celtic fans didn't even know who Ange Postecoglou was. To have this sort of effect over us over such a short amount of time is incredible. And credit to him.
Yeah, fair play to him. Callum, if you had to choose between the two, who would you take if you could only take one? I hate that question, but if you had to.
See, part of me is thinking more going towards Carter Vickers, because they do have players at the club that can be attack-minded and such, like Jota, but they don't really have an awful lot of centre-halves.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the deciding factor, the lack of that. But obviously, for all we know, Andrew's got his sights set on a good few players he wants to bring in the summer, potentially centre-halves. So that's it does more lead me towards Jota. I think Jota's one of these players, he's like, he only comes along every so often.
Aye.
I wouldn't say there's an awful lot of players out there. That's like, there's not an awful lot of players out there
to play
that get me that I'm like that.
To play devil's advocate, I would maybe argue that point for Cameron Carter-Vickers. I don't think we've had a centre half that comes around that often that is consistently good as him.
I don't want to say that he's replaceable, but it is the Scottish League as well. I know he's done really well in Europe as well.
There's McGinley just completely undermining the product of our league.
It's the cinch, baby. It's different. Jota's generational. I don't like this. Would you pick one or the other? Can we not just get both? But I mean, if we're going to ask that question, I know if we're going to ask that question, then probably Jota. Jota's generational. Celtic don't get players like Jota every day, so I think if we're in that position to get him, then go for him.
Do you think there's probably more sell-on value with Jota as well? Because
absolutely.
This is the thing. Like, I think that Celtic, and I know we've made a couple of great examples with Kieran Tierney, with Christopher Ayer. We've made money on these guys. They're defenders at the end of the day. However, I feel like as soon as you throw in umpteen goals, umpteen assists, that suddenly helps the price rocket up. You know what I mean? So there probably is more sell-on.
And just that flag as well.
Portuguese.
English centre halves.
Oh, well.
Oh, no.
Aye.
I thought you were talking about defenders then.
No, I'm talking about goals and assists, mate. That's fucking, I thought that would have been Jota.
Vickers has had a couple of goals as well. Maybe I'm away with it, man. This Zoom has just frazzled me, honestly.
Mate, trust me, it's frazzled me as well. It feels weird. I'm doing it down the stairs as well, which is just a bit odd.
The drive to Wishaw usually wakes me up, so the fact that I've just had to go down the stairs, I'm still half asleep, I feel.
Look, it's all right, we're on the same. I mean, Cal, were you drinking last night, Cal?
I don't. I said no.
And me and you were. I feel like I've got a 2-day hangover for my birthday, I must admit.
Never had. I mean, have you told the stairs story?
I don't even know if I should. Is that a good idea? Christ, I'm actually sitting here with my back is still in bits. So apparently I fucking cunted it down the stairs in Missoula. In a cowboy outfit as well. That's the worst part. That must have been some viewing for whoever was in attendance that night.
You'd been like Arthur Morgan in that mission in Red Dead 2. He's falling all over the place.
Never even thought about that. Aye, so I got kicked out apparently for falling down the stairs and such. And I've never been kicked out anywhere in my life, I don't think. So first time for everything.
First for everything now.
Aye, it was quite a wild birthday. I'll always remember that.
I had a great night. I had a great night on Friday night. I was back to my usual place. Fell in love about 4 times. Done nothing about it. Just had about 4 or 5 venoms. That I actually woke up yesterday shaking. I had the shakes. I was that hungover.
The Jake shakes, the Jai Grey shakes.
That's it, man. I was like that. You know that Irish guy. You know what? At Christmas time. The Irish guy that always gets shared, you know, the guy that's doing the Elvis Presley. I was like him.
So who's
Remember that just brings me back to last season. Mind the Gavin Strachan part.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
I think it was Rico's that was sharing that. It's just hilarious, man.
Oh, superb.
But no,
superb.
and I keep on there's people that watch the podcast that I see in the cat house as well. It's mental. Like, no matter how far you go, there'll always be fans of the podcast.
I'll always be. Have you
God
ever
bless
had?
the Goths.
Have any of you ever had like the weird, like, have you been recognised anywhere? Like, you're like, what the fuck have I been recognised so far? Like,
cat
I've
house.
had it a few times. Guys, man, I've not had, I can say. In fact, I had a couple of weeks ago at the Cooks. I was coming back to the bar and there was this guy walked by. They bumped into me. I was like, oh, sorry, man. Oh, I love a podcast, big man. Cheers. I don't know how you do it, Ryan. I don't like it.
Listen,
Actually, that's another thing. On Friday, I ran to my train basically. So I basically just got on the train, didn't get a ticket. So I was at the Queen Street. Queen Street is looking healthy, by the way. That is incredible. It's like walking through Grand Central Station, but Scottish version. As I get to the barrier, I don't have a ticket, obviously. And one of the ticket attendants, I know your face from somewhere. I was like, oh no, what's this going to be? And then he started talking about the podcast. And he just let me through for nothing.
Was it by any chance an older guy? Specky?
I think so.
Exactly. I feel like he always says something to me, but anyway, I think for
he said
me,
he shout out to him. I know he watches the podcast.
I think the weirdest one that I've had is probably in like Iron Appa in Magaluf. And,
I forgot about Napa.
Zante, like I've been every holiday I've went on with the boys. It seems like it's happened. I'm like, fucking hell. They're probably the weirdest ones for me. But enough self-glorifying ourselves. Let's move on to the next topic before we get on to the final sort of couple of segments of the show. I wanted to bring up some of the stuff, and I said yesterday in the chat, bring your best slander, boys, because I wanted to go over a few things that I've been seen on social media recently. First of all, is it just, do you guys like getting hugs from your parents or hugs off anybody? Is it just when the famous score?
It's only when Rangers score that I get a hug, weirdly, even though they're a Celtic podcast.
So there was a tweet put up yesterday, right? And I'm going to tie it into the rest of everything else. There was a tweet put up yesterday about someone being sick of Ange Postecoglou's interviews because he apparently keeps bringing up his recently deceased father, his father who sadly passed away a few years ago. Number one, I think that he's brought it up about once or twice in interviews since joining Celtic. Number two, you're listening to the fucking interview. What is you complaining about? If you've decided to go out your way to watch your rival's club's manager speaking, you're asking for these things. And number three, what's the fucking problem? Like, just overall, you got a problem with Ryan. I think that we've spoken about our love for Ange Postecoglou, but some pretty weird takes in that tweet and in the reply to that tweet.
Do you remember that SpongeBob episode where Squidward says that he hates Krabby Patties and he hides it from SpongeBob, and then he finds out, and then SpongeBob makes that face, and you like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
Yeah.
That's like the Rangers fans. I think a lot of Rangers fans actually quite like Ange Postecoglou. The fact that they're coming out with stuff like this is just absolute nonsense. I think it was daddy issues they talked about, which is a bit of a weird thing to come out with.
Yep.
I mean, if you feel that sort of way about Ange Postecoglou, then props to you. You know, after a couple of drinks, I pure love the guy as well. But it's so weird. I don't really have much else to say. It's just odd behaviour from an odd fan base, I would say.
Yeah, what were you thinking, Cal, when you seen it yesterday? It did make for some phenomenal patter on the old Bird app, to be fair.
No, it definitely did. I think when I first read this tweet, I was like, what the fuck? Like, again, as you pointed out, why are you listening to it then? Like, there's no need for you to sit down when he's like, see it's on for about 30-35 minutes. Why have you then sat and listened through that to then go and complain about him Twitter? Oh, he fucking doesn't shut up about his dad, sat and the rest of it. But then, as you said, the best follow-up was, I don't want to hug off any cunt unless the famous has scored him. Fuck off, man. Just fuck off. Like, that's somebody's dad that's actually put that out there.
Yep.
Like, I feel sorry for that Wayne. But their Wayne must be fucking neglected to fuck.
some really tough times for some.
It was when the least surprising person ever chimed in, that Chris McLaughlin man. And there was a couple He get absolutely ratioed with some of those replies, man.
Honestly, that top reply that might be the greatest reply to a tweet ever in history of Twitter. But it leads me on to what I wanted to talk about next in relation to Rangers fans and such. And I've never made this podcast a platform to come out and just, throw slander at opposition supporters or blah, 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 nothing. But there's some things that do need address and some things that are absolute nonsense, which I'm fed up of saying. There seems to be this habit this season of certain Rangers, and I'm not saying every Rangers fan, but certain Rangers fans continuously lying about absolutely everything. Whatever they can do, they'll lie. Because see, the start of the season, it was £20 million Postecoglou had spent that was going to win them the league. Then it was 25 million. It was 30 million. It was 35. Now it's apparently £40 million Celtic have spent. It goes up £5 million every week, according to them. And it's now being used as a sort of excuse for us being top of the league. Now, I don't know if people are familiar with the starting 11 that we had at the start of the season. And I don't think people are familiar with the whole point of a rebuild and or net spend. But it's one of the many things, McGinley, that I feel like there's been a trend on social media of blatant lies about Celtic this season.
Finances has never been Rangers and Rangers fans' strong points, and we know that through history and experience, let's be honest. A lot of them are just, the revisionism that comes about is just incredible. Mm-hmm. Clubs can spend money,
Yeah,
they're allowed to. It's called competition. You're allowed to compete in this league. You've got to be in the best possible situation. And we're as just as surprised as anyone else that Celtic are actually well equipped to have this sort of title challenge this season. We're delighted. It seems at the other end are a bit raging with their transfer dealings and that. They get players that don't even play for them.
It's not their fault they went and
amount of money.
It's not their fault they went and spent millions on somebody on a loan deal to sit on the bench for the entirety of the time. I'm sorry. That's been nice to him because he's not even been sitting on the fucking bench.
And Aaron Ramsey, because you could easily be talking about Ahmed Diallo there.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true as well. 2 failed loan deals that were meant to set the world alight, that were meant to take this league by storm. And one of them was dubbed to be the best signing since Paul Gascoigne. And yeah, it's been shown up for was it even a full performance against Annan Athletic? I think that's all we've really seen. So there
was something that Annan Ramsey, that was what somebody called him.
Was it something? Oh, Annan Ramsey. That's brilliant.
But it's just weird, the amount of lies that just come out of that fan base. You can tell they're worried about this season. They're really, really worried about this season. They're on the back foot.
It's the same, Callum, with the one that I'll let you just chip in with any opinion you want really in a second, but there's always that one as well that they keep throwing out, that Ange Postecoglou is the first manager ever to be eliminated from 3 European competitions in one season, when there was 10 or so before him who were knocked out of 3 competitions. It feels like whenever there's a narrative, a false narrative that can be pushed online against Celtic, it will be pursued with sheer stupidity.
I mean, it's the exact same as you can tell when Celtic's won on Twitter, because it's just full of the referees get this wrong, they get that wrong. Referees are going to get stuff wrong, but we're still going to play their football and put the result we needed. But again, it's the constant greeting about it that gets me. Man, I just fuck off. See for shoes another foot. Don't hear a word about it.
No.
They want to sit and saying it just annoys the life out of me.
It doesn't help that the media fuels the fire as well, though, because you look at sports scene. Sports scene's become a conspiracy theory programme every week. They're bringing out the rule book and stuff about handball and stuff like that. It's absolutely mental. Celtic must be doing well if all this is coming out.
Yeah, you can tell we're top of the league again. That's precisely it. Right, okay. I think we've been recording for a decent whack about now, so I'm going to get up the Twitter questions for today and I'll fly through them. I usually would give this to yourself, McGinley, but because we're on Zoom and such, I've just got it up in front of me, ready to go ahead with it. Usually we use this time to check in with our VF1 catch-up. This is where we always just bring it up. You impressed with the Drive to Survive Season 4, Cam? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, what I've managed to watch so far, it's quite good. I'm very much looking forward to taking up to the final episodes to see how it all plays out in that perspective. But no, it's been quite good so far. I must say, I'm loving me Yuki Tsunoda. He's just so cute.
I know, brilliant.
He's
Isn't
just such a likeable wee guy.
he? Yeah, he's brilliant, funny. Yeah, I bashed it all yesterday when I was hungover, just lay in bed and watched every single episode, just waiting for Total Wolf to be fucking greeting right at the end. McGinley, I'd always ask you here at this point as well, have you seen any films recently?
I have, yeah. I went to see the Batman last
Brilliant,
Saturday.
brilliant, really good.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Glasgow looked absolutely stinking too, which was absolutely brilliant.
That last scene, like when they're driving down John Knox Street. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about John Knox in this podcast, but when they're driving down John Knox Street,
It's a certain song you can't sing.
I was howling because it's just like I drive down that road every day, so it was just quite funny seeing it. I was like, there's John Knox Street.
I've just thought of you as Batman.
Me driving down my motorbike. Right.
I've got to say though, they've really set up that sort of universe well. I know they're doing a spin-off series with the Penguin. The fact that a certain character, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but a certain character made an appearance right at the end.
Yeah.
Great actor as well. Great choice for who's going to play him. So it's a very, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It's worth it.
Right, questions then. Let's go. Adam, just to keep up to the theme of what we spoke about a minute ago, quick fire, right? Callum, I'll ask you because I don't think McGinley will be able to fucking name 3, but if you had to pick your 3 favourite F1 drivers, who would they be?
Oh, fuck. Ricardo.
Not a Ricardo fan.
Verstappen.
Hey!
Fuck. I don't know who else I want to take. Fuck, Yuki Tsunoda.
Aye, you're free.
I'll take him.
For me, it's.
I think I could name 3.
Aye, well, we'll give you a second. We'll see if we can get. Well, he's just named 3 anyway, so you could just do his.
I can name other ones.
I would go for Max Verstappen, Checo, and Carlos Sainz. There's my 3. That's my 3 there. My 3 favourite. McGinley, do you have?
Is your man Kimi Räikkönen? Is he still?
He just retired. He's just retired there. Had his last race. I thought you were going to. Is your man Ayrton Senna still driving? Is he still going?
No. Even though I don't watch it, like when it's on Sky Sports News, I always keep up to date with all the rankings and stuff.
Aye.
I want to be involved with this. I need to start this season. I just need to just watch it.
Aye, that's brilliant. Right, so Elliot asks, you've answered who wins the Players' Royal Rumble, but who wins the Staff Royal Rumble? Well, I am personally going to go with my new best mate. I'm going to go with John Kennedy, my best friend in the entire world. He sent me a wee birthday wish. That's brilliant, isn't it? John Kennedy, absolutely outstanding. What a hero! I've always liked John. I've always liked him. Generally, that's the thing. I've always been like an avid John Kennedy fan on this channel, and I really wanted him to do well at Celtic when he got given the job. So I'm buzzing, mate. When I seen that come through my Insta DMs, I just about shit my pants.
Are we talking about
any picks?
I don't even know. That's quite hard, Jim. Yeah, big fucking Stevie Wood. Actually, I'm backing for it. Nice. Aye. Nice. Run a bit like fucking Stone Cold.
I was going to actually use that reference too. I was going to say Stone Cold Peter Houston, the big scout. He's built like a brick shithouse, that man.
Aye, that's true. That's true. There we go. Then there's our picks there. Connor Carr, what's the best pint? Seen this debate a lot on the timeline recently. I think you've had this question a few times.
I think we have.
I honestly, I'm easily pleased with a Tennent's. I just love a Tennent's. It might be the best pint, but I don't know. It's hard. Calm, you're a good old beer man. You love your beer. What's your favourite?
For a few, a safe bet I say with myself, probably Staraframan. It's a big glass and all it. I like it.
Honestly, it's tough. It's really tough. I like Heineken ice cold. That's really good. When it's done properly, nice cold glass, nice cold. That's nice. I don't know. I'm going Tennent's. Fuck it, Tennent's is. It's Tennent's. It is. Ryan, you don't even drink pints, do you?
I do not. No, the best pint is none of them. A pint of water.
Jesus Christ, that's me.
No, man. No. Can you say like a pint of Strongbow?
Oh, I ain't shite. I'm none of that. Had a few questions about this guy.
Pint of Venom.
Oh, Christ. We just put a pint of any liquid now.
I just want to be involved, mate.
Right, Shay is asked, seeing as Griff Dog is bagging again, is it time to get him back, seeing as he's a 40-goal a season striker when he's fit and has always done us a turn?
We've got Griffiths without the controversy and more fitness and Dies and Maida, so no.
Nice answer. Let's see what else. Right, Carl has asked, if you could choose the song that the team would walk out to, what would it be? And would it be different for a Rangers game? I listen. I've been very vocal on this before, and I know McGinley has. The walkout song stays the same for me. It should always be the grand old team. It's always got to be the grand old team, and that's it for me. Now I know McGinley, you've voiced an opinion on this before, and
mine's changed. Remember?
Oh, I did it.
I like it now.
Aye, take your time.
The first time at Yablonets, I actually think I had a tear in my eye because I'd missed it so much. I'd missed being at the game so much.
Yeah. I mean, if it could be anything else, though. Oh, I don't know. It could be anything else. I didn't like your suggestion of Paradise by Coldplay. I didn't like
Paradise City, maybe by Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, listen, that's not a bad shout. Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. I like actually. No. Sorry, I'd have Enter Sandman by Metallica. That's what it'd be. That'd be
I like Southampton. Do they not do Hate Me Now by Nas? And it works so well. But if I was to pick a song, Edge's theme, because I'm just thinking about that Ange Postecoglou WWE video, and I want that. But somebody said instead of "You Think You Know Me," it should be something that Ange says.
Mike,
I don't know.
I actually wouldn't mind that.
The pyro, imagine the pyro.
I'm a builder, mate. Do. Imagine that. Fucking hell. Callum,
you've just said builder there, and I've just thought of Ange the Builder to Bob the Builder's theme tune. And it's just Ralston coming in with a bricky.
Don't man, honestly. Callum, you got any suggestions?
Fucking hell. No, my head's drawn blanks because I'm just thinking.
Maybe.
Are
we Oasis number?
Oh, I can think, man. See, I like Oasis for the end of it. Like, the end of the game against Linz.
Roll With It was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Roll With It was unbelievable at the end of it, but no, there's none that's come to mind. I'm just still thinking that Ange said, I'm a builder, mate, and then Edge's thing coming on. That's going to be brilliant, man. That's going to be stuck with me all day now.
Right, here's
do you know what I'm going to say? Just quickly? There's a Down Under remix. Put that on. Get that in the disco lights.
Mad one, it's got like the wee whistle in it. Like.
Yeah.
Aye, I know what you're talking about. I probably just pierced everybody's ears by doing that, sorry.
My dog just looked up there. I was like, what are you saying?
Right, the food question for this week. CCV Dylan, he asks, Jammy Dodgers or Jaffa Cakes?
I don't like either of them.
What? You don't like none of them? Wow. I love both of them, but if I had to pick one and one, only it'd be Jaffa Cakes. You got to pick Cal.
Aye, Jaffa Cakes.
Jaffa Cakes.
Aye, I'll go Jaffa Cakes.
Jaffa Cakes. Again, like you're so uncultured, bro. Right, here we go. Kieran, friend of the show, as we said, he gave us the wee sort of mini quiz earlier on. He's gave us quite a graphic question for this week. I don't even know if you want to answer it. He says, Neil Lennon, Lee Griffiths, and Mo Johnston. Fuck, marry, kill.
I just refuse to answer it, to be honest.
I'd definitely marry Neil. That's all my answer, but just marry Neil.
See, I quite like the distance that we've got between Neil Lennon and us now. I like that he's far away in Cyprus.
Didn't even speak about that. He started. I wish him well.
92nd minute equaliser for the other team.
Aye.
Bitterly disappointed.
I really can't answer that question though. It's just difficult, isn't it? Just really difficult. Jordan asks, and this is funny, what sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to? Now, surely F1 is the answer to that. Imagine that. Imagine like F1, you had to go in and booze and then jump at the tracks. Nice.
That's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
There's so many. I think MMA would be quite interesting because it would just turn into like a pub brawl.
Pub fight. Nah, it would.
To be fair, John Jones has probably done it while he's steaming. So,
what about you, Cam? You got any pick?
I don't think F1's the best shit. I think that'd be fucking hilarious, man.
Just be like a pissed up Dodgems, wouldn't
it? Imagine trying to go in Monaco steaming. Oh.
I don't think many folk would make it past the first corner. Right, okay. Spunk phones in the replies. First
wow.
Time nice to see him in there. He's asked a big question: Football Factory or Green Street? I'm more of a Football Factory man myself.
I'm just going to say the damned United because I've not seen either of them either.
You've not seen any of the two, no? Well, listen, I've not seen.
I've seen like clips. I think the most I've seen of it is like Spunk phone actually putting up videos of it.
No. Why are you talking in that fucking muggy rhyming slang? I'd definitely go for Football Factory, I think. Let's see, anything else? Will we ever see the return of Football Manager streams? Possibly the podcast and SPFL teams one, leave out the top two. That's Aaron Hare. Hopefully so, when I'm back to doing YouTube, basically. Well, when I'm doing YouTube sort of full time. Hopefully that's something I can explore. Where can you buy snus in Cyprus? Asking for a friend, says Decky. I think we all know who the friend is. I am not hungry. I am starving for success.
That was great, man.
And then finally, the last question: is Kieran Auld hungover? Well, I think he's maybe recovered by now, but it certainly might be a 2-day hangover for Mr. Auld. But that wraps up all the questions, which means it is just time for the quiz. And before we go into the quiz, the final segment of today's show, is there anything you two would like to throw in?
Yeah.
Silence was the...
No, man, it's coming to mind.
I've enjoyed the week, but I can't wait for Celtic to be back tomorrow.
I know, mate. Thank God. I needed that. Even though I'm meant to be working for tomorrow's game, which is a bit of a disaster. So I'll need to try and sort something out last minute if possible. Right, okay, it's time for the quiz. I don't have my scores up in front of me just now. Let me try and load it up. Right, so the league table, as I updated it last week, leaves McGinley played 3. He's won 2, lost 1. I've played 5, won 3, lost 2. Kieran and Callum have both played 4, but Callum is only on 1 win. So after today, Callum will be up to 5 games played alongside me. McGinley, you'll be on 4 games played alongside Kieran Auld, which means in the next episode, you will be playing Kieran Auld. Hopefully, if it is you two on the show, we'll wait and see. So on that note, McGinley, since you've played less games, I'll let you choose. Do you want to go set A or set B for the end of show quiz?
I'll go set A.
Set A, stepping up first. Callum, Craig, are you ready over that side as well, son?
I'm a fuck, mate. I just want my bed.
I feel your dedication, sir. Thank you very much. Right, okay, set A. That means you're up first, Ryan McGinley. And here we go. There has never been a Celtic player with a surname beginning with Y in the 21st century. True or false?
21st century?
Yes.
There has never been one.
There has never been. True or false?
False.
It's actually true. There has never been a player with the second name Y in the 21st century. In the 20th century, there was 5 players with the surname Young, but not in the 20th.
See, I was trying to think if there was a Young playing for us.
Yeah, well, there you go. Right, so Callum, you can get off to a good start here. Matt O'Reilly is the only Celtic player to have a surname beginning with O in the 21st century. True or false?
False.
False is correct, because of course you've got Darren O'Day, Armstrong, Okoflex, and Owen O'Connell.
So
there you go. There's 3. So Callum is up 1-0. Good start for Cam Craig this week. Right, McGinley. Who was the only goal scorer the last time Celtic faced Dundee United?
Starboy, Leo Abada.
Well, yeah, I thought you were going to say Starfelt, and I was like, you twat.
It
was Leo Abada.
I'm hoping that day comes soon, though, that he does score. He came close against Livingston.
Yeah. Okay, Callum Craig, name the last ex-Celtic player who has also managed Dundee United?
Is it McNamara?
Jackie McNamara's correct. There you go. Till this quiz, I completely forgot he was manager of Dundee United. Back in 2015-ish time, I think it was around there.
Aye.
He was in
It was a
charge.
season. Was he on Charles Smith played them like 8 times in the one season?
Aye.
It was.
Right. Okay.
We totally killed his team because we decimated them. We took everybody. We even took Chifty. Remember that?
Aye. Okay. Right. McGinley, to make it 2-2. What is the last decade Dundee United have won the Scottish Cup?
Scottish Cup.
Yeah.
Did they win the League Cup? I don't know. Did they win that season? I'm going to say the 1980s.
Oh. It's the
Is it 2010?
2010s. They won it in
Peter Houston won it, didn't he?
2010 was the last time they won it.
I'd been Peter Houston.
There you go. Okay, Callum, you can stamp some authority here and make it free, Callum Craig. Which player in the current Celtic first team wears the highest number of shirt? So who has the highest shirt number in the Celtic first team?
Try to think of who's got what number.
Yeah.
Is it Scales?
It's not Scales. No. It's Ryan's boy. It's Josip Juranovic, number 88.
88. I
was thinking, what number does Ben Doak have?
Yeah, well, I think he's something like 70 something, I think. But
I was actually going to say Karamoko.
A lifeline for you, Ryan McGinley, for your question to make it 2-2. Name 3 of the 4 goal scorers that scored in Celtic B's 5-0 win against Partick Thistle in the Glasgow Cup on Wednesday.
3 of the 4?
Yes.
Right. Mikey Johnson.
Correct.
Dembele.
Yes.
Joey Dawson.
Correct. There you go. That's 3 of the 4. Could you name the 4?
Summers?
No, it was Johnny Kenny who got the other.
So it was.
So there you go. But well done. You got it right, which means it's 2 each. Calm, you still have a chance to keep the advantage if you go up 3-2 here.
That's a good quiz.
Ex-Celtic and Dundee United player Scott McDonald played for how many Scottish clubs during his career?
Oh.
Skippy.
3?
It's not 3.
More than that.
No.
4 Scottish clubs.
So Motherwell, Celtic, Partick Thistle.
Yep.
And Dundee United.
Yep. Completely
That's
forgot.
why I was missing it.
Partick Thistle. Just completely forgot. So, wow, the quiz has suddenly been turned on its head. Callum Craig has bottled it, which means there's one more question for each left. McGinley, it's you first. Which current Celtic player currently occupies the shirt number that is the same as our goal difference? What a question that is, by the way. That is unbelievable.
What is our goal difference? Abada, it's 11.
Our goal difference is better than 11, you fool.
No. That's what you meant. No. That is 11 between us and Rangers.
First time, mate. First time answer. Need to take it. You didn't listen to the question.
I did listen. I just had a total brain fart.
Yep. I'm sorry. The goal difference is 47, which means the person that occupies the 47 shirt is Dane Murray. So that would have been the correct.
I would have never got that.
Right. And Callum, you can win it here if you get this right. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Who is the last player to move from Celtic to Dundee United? Who is the last player to move between Celtic and Dundee United either way? So they could have went Celtic to Dundee United or Dundee United to Sellik. I want to get this. That's a tough one today. Matthew Duff, thank you very much for the quiz.
Oh, so it's not that answer, right? Okay.
Oh, I can't think for the life of me.
Yes.
Can you give me the question again?
Can you name the last player to move between Celtic and Dundee United either way? So they could have went Celtic to United.
Oh, I do know. I do know this.
Do you?
So if they went directly from
Aye.
us to them or maybe us?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Oh, fuck. The last one this time was Chief. I just can't think for the life of me here.
You going to guess Chief?
Go for it. Nadir Chief.
Ryan, what did you think it was?
I'm thinking it's Paul McMullen.
These are both wrong. The correct answer would have been Sam Wardrop, who moved from Celtic to Dundee United in 2018-19.
Wow.
There you go.
Would never get that in a month for Sundays.
That is a great question.
That is a really good question. But it means it has to go to a tiebreak. It has to go to
how am I even in a tiebreak here?
Right, so McGinley, you get to answer first since you picked set A. Celtic and Leeds hold the record of the highest attendance for a competitive European match. But what was the attendance in the European Cup semi-final of 1970? Closest gets
I'm going to go 85,000.
Okay. Callum. My dad was at this game.
That's been every fucking Celtic game.
Same class of Jesus and all that.
What did McGinley go with? 85?
Mm-hmm.
91?
Okay.
91,000.
Right. Number one.
He's went higher.
Number one. The two of you don't know your history too well because you are both hilariously off it. The winner, I can admit this week, is Callum Craig. Well done, Callum.
It's going to be over 100,000, isn't it?
The attendance is 133,961. I think it was at Hampden that night. If what my dad told me was correct, it may have been Celtic Park, but 133,000 at that semi-final. Madness, absolute madness.
There'd have been some atmosphere as well.
Folk climb. My dad tell me the stories of folk climbing the light rigs and everything to try and watch the game. Fucking madness, you know. But there you go, 133,000 people. So Callum Craig, well done, sir. You've won this week.
Deserved winner.
And you can take that one to your bed this evening. Right, since Callum's wanting his bed and since I've got to edit and get this up, I'm going to end the show there. Callum and Ryan, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks for having us.
Right, no worries. And
Cheers.
I will see you the next time, hopefully in the studio for the Sellik the Thunder. So until then, take care and I'll see you all next time. Cheerio.